Today we'll recap a 2022 American superhero film, based on the Marvel Comics character Morbius, the living vampire. Dangerously ill with a rare blood disorder and determined to save others from the same fate, Dr. Morbius attempts a desperate gamble. While at first, it seems to be a radical success, the darkness inside of him is soon unleashed. Kindly remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video. The movie begins somewhere in Costa Rica, where a team of scientists led by Dr. Michael Morbius arrives at a cave. He asks his men to set the trap at the mouth of the cave. He then steps forward to the cave's entrance and cuts his hand, then holds it out as a swarm of bats begins flying out, drawn to his blood, while the rest of the men retreat to their chopper and the scene gets cut here. The movie then shifts 25 years earlier to Greece, where we see a young Michael living under the care of Dr. Emil Nicholas. As Michael suffers from a blood disease, the institution they are living in welcomes another child named Lucian with the same disease, but Michael refers to him as Milo, due to the last kid who was there being named that. After some chatting, Milo's machine starts to falter and he passes out. Michael uses a spring from a ballpoint pen to fix the machine and revive Milo. Nicholas expresses astonishment at this task and tells him that there is a school in New York for gifted children, and he could get them to agree to cover his tuition and provide private care to help manage his condition. Michael leaves a letter for Milo saying that he will find a cure for them. The letter flies out of the window and Milo is harassed by other kids who taunt him for his condition and kick him while he is down. He is then saved by Nicholas. Back in the present, Morbius is up for a Nobel Peace Prize in Sweden, but he rejects it and goes on to continue his work. He is treating a young girl named Anna, who suffers from the same condition as him. He works with his girlfriend, Dr. Martine Bancroft, who thinks he is pushing himself too hard in his endeavors. It is also said that Milo is the benefactor of their project of mixing bat DNA with human blood, as Morbius thinks that splicing their genes with his own may cure his condition. He has recovered the bats from the cave for the project. He then tests his serum on a lab rat, who appears to die after some time. Moments later, a nurse comes there and tells them to see Anna. She starts to have a seizure, but they take care of her before she suffers a stroke. Now Martine looks back at the lab and sees that the rat is revived and moving, and tells Morbius that it worked. Morbius then goes to meet with Milo and Nicholas. After some chat, Nicholas leaves there and they both go for a walk. Morbius tells him that he is very close to the cure, but it's very expensive and illegal, and it has to be done on international waters. He makes it seem urgent that Milo help him as soon as possible before it's too late for both of them. He then gathers Martine and other crew members onto a ship for the next stage of his experiment, where Martine administers the serum to Morbius. She then buckles him up on the chair and Morbius begins to shake violently. After the procedure, Martine is bothered by a surly crew member. She asks him to leave when they notice that Morbius has broken free from the straps on his chair. They find him crawling on the ceiling and looking dangerous. He then attacks the man and Martine tries to stop and calm him down. But then the alarm goes off and he starts breaking the glass to come out. Just then other mercenaries show up and Martine is knocked unconscious in the struggle. Morbius, who now have turned into a vampiric monster, breaks out of the cabin, attacks all of them, and drains them of their blood. He then regains his humanity and sees that his body is cured and strong. Then he goes to the control room and watches himself attacking the men on security cameras. He then calls the authority and asks them for an immediate airlift. Next, FBI agent Simon Stroud and Al Rodriguez are brought on to investigate the crime scene. Martine is found alive but is unconscious. Rodriguez tells Simon that a man made a mayday call and then wiped all the CCTV footage. On the other hand, Milo and Nicholas also watch this incident on TV. Then we see Morbius in his lab, who has isolated himself to continue understanding his new condition, while also feeding off blood samples to satiate his hunger. He begins to hone his new bat-like powers like flying, super speed, strength, and faster reflexes, and the bats in his lab also respond to him as their leader. He has even developed a form of echolocation, but artificial blood keeps him stable for 6 hours and this window is growing shorter. Later Milo comes to his lab and finds him just as he begins to relapse into his monstrous state, but he asks him to get the blood and after drinking it, he comes under control. Realizing that the serum has helped cure Morbius's disease, Milo wants to get some, but he refuses since he knows the consequences would be dangerous. He tells him that he made a terrible mistake. He explains to him that it is a curse and tells him to go as it is not safe there. Next, Agent Simon and Rodriguez come to investigate Martine in the hospital, but she tells them that she does not remember anything. Simon then gives his card and they leave there. Later, a nurse at the hospital notices something strange. She gets scared of seeing it and then gets attacked and killed by a vampire monster. Morbius hears about this and goes out to check and gets shocked to see this. Now when he was leaving from there, Stroud and Rodriguez appear to question him. They were going to take him with them, but he fights with them and tries to flee. But he is soon arrested and taken to a detention center. Stroud and Rodriguez question Morbius about the nurse. He asks him why he killed her, to which he says that he can't answer that. Morbius tells them that he needs his bag of artificial blood. But they leave there. Later he is visited by Milo, who tells him that they need to get him out of here. Just then Guard tells him that the time is up and Milo leaves, leaving a packet of blood there. Here Morbius sees his cane in the cell and realizes that Milo took the serum for himself, and he's the one who killed the nurse. He gets very angry about this and goes into vampire mode, and breaks out of the facility, then watches as Milo becomes a vampire and kills a man at a newsstand. He then finds Milo and tells him that he tried to protect him from becoming a monster. But Milo attempts to convince Morbius to join him so they can give in to their newfound powers and urges. Morbius tries to convince him to stop it, but he pushes him and tries to run away. He chases him into the subway, where they both fly and crash in front of others, and Milo was enjoying this. Morbius says that he will figure out how to reverse it, but Milo does not want to change. Then police shows up to arrest them, but he becomes a vampire and slaughters them all. Now seeing this, Morbius starts leaving from there and Milo attempts to catch him, but he escapes through the tunnels, and for the first time we see him flying like a bat. After Martine is released from the hospital, Morbius finds her and explains to her that he did not kill Nurse or the police. He tells her that Milo took the serum and he has to stop him and he needs her help in this. He later finds another lab run by counterfeiters and scares them away to continue working and develop a compound to undo his vampirism, even though it will kill him. On the other hand, Milo goes out to a nightclub, where he ends up crossing paths with an aggressive guy. He controls himself and leaves from there, but later follows the guy and his friends down an alley where he kills them all. He then goes to Martine and asks her about Morbius, to which she says she does not know where he is. He later observes Morbius working with Martine and watches them kiss, knowing he has found a weakness in his brother. The next day Simon and Rodriguez find the dead clubgoers. They see surveillance footage showing Milo's face, making them realize Morbius is not their killer. After seeing this on the news, Nicholas goes to visit Milo and speak to him, but Milo argues that Nicholas always saw Morbius as his favorite son. Nicholas gets scared of this and asks him to calm down, but Milo attacks him and asks him to tell Michael that he is going to kill as many as he wants. Morbius meets with Martine one more time and asks her to leave as it's now safe there. He then gets a call from Nicholas asking for help. He reaches there where Nicholas asks him to stop Milo, and then he dies. He is later called by Milo, who has kidnapped Martine. Now Morbius gets very angry about this and comes to his vampire form. He reaches her, but she is also seriously injured by Milo. She lets him take her blood to go after Milo, but a small drop of his blood falls into Martine's mouth. Morbius becomes more powerful as he goes to face Milo. Then we see a very intense fight scene where Milo overpowers him. An injured and weak Morbius then summons his bats, and as Milo moves forward to kill him, he uses them to surround Milo, giving him a chance to approach him and inject him with the compound. Milo starts to die but remembers that Morbius gave him his name. Morbius stays by his side as he dies. Now as the police reach the location, Morbius flies off into the night with his bats, while Martine appears to reawaken as a vampire, and the movie ends here. During the credits, we see the multiversal rift from Spider-Man No Way Home open up, and Adrian Toomes ends up in this universe. After he is free on the streets, he finds his vulture suit and locates Morbius. He tells him that Spider-Man is involved in whatever is happening, and he is looking for his help in putting together a team to go after Spidey. Thanks for watching!